Scofield Bible. So, I think there are some who are wanting to save their souls out of this untoward generation, this coming disaster, and the crash and downfall of worlds. And such as that would welcome counsel, and I want to give it to you. Welcome counsel, not from a perfect man, but from somebody who's walked with God, and who's loved and lived in the Scriptures for quite a while, and who hasn't any other motive except to do you good. Nobody can get my ear or my respect if I know he's got a handout, that he's got his hand out for something from me. Nobody can get my ear. I won't listen to anybody. I don't think it's a spiritual thing. I haven't any conscience about it at all. I'll plug my ears against the man that I suspect of being out to get something from me. But then no man can preach too straight to me if I know he loves me and doesn't want anything I have. And no man can be too eloquent for me to walk out on if I have a suspicion that he wants something I have. No, I don't want anything that you have at all except my car fare, and I'll get that, sure. But outside of that, you can keep everything, give it to missions. But there are four things that I'd like to say to you. That if you're going to save yourself from this untoward generation and salvage something out of the world wreck and the crash and fall of worlds, you're going to have to do four things that I have before you here. First is magnify God. Second is mortify the flesh. The third is simplify your life. And the fourth is serve your generation. Now, there are the four texts, and that's what the four texts say. Let's look at the first one first. Let such as love thy salvation say continually, the Lord be magnified. Now, I'm positively sure, after many years of observation and prayer, I'm sure that the basis of all of our trouble today in religious circles is that our God is too small, that God isn't big enough. And when he says magnify the Lord, he doesn't mean that you're to make God big, but you're to see him big. When we take a glass to look at a star, we don't make the star bigger, we only see it bigger. And so you can't make God bigger, but you're only to see him bigger. Now, it's quite popular for us to talk about the liberals and the modernists, and you can just name them. All of them have a little God, and we Alliance people have a big God. We do have a big God, but most of us don't see him big. And so my first point is, see God big, magnify God. Now, the most important verse in the Bible is not the one you think it is. Jesus Christ the same yesterday, today, and forever. Lay that aside. That's not the most important one. Nor is it the other one you think it is, John 3:16. God so loved the world, that's not the most important one. The most important verse in the Bible is this one, in the beginning God. That's the most important verse because that's where everything must begin. God is the fountain out of which everything springs, and he is the foundation upon which everything rests. God is all in all. The Archbishop said, God is over all things, under all things, outside all things. Within but not enclosed, without but not excluded, above but not raised up, below but not depressed. Wholly above presiding, wholly beneath sustaining, wholly without embracing, and wholly within filling. And I'm sure that if we saw God bigger, we'd see people smaller. This is the day of the magnification